Hello, everyone. I'm just trying to sort the camera out because I'm using the laptop tonight. How's everyone doing? It's it's been a fairly standard week, really. There's been a few reveals, new partworks that are starting over in France. Obviously, nothing has been mentioned yet on any new partworks coming out, and there's no tests on the board for at the moment for this month. So looks like it's going to be a quiet month. In terms of new part works and test builds, but that could always change. So how's everyone doing? Hi D, how's it going? Evening, and Mark as well. Hi Mark, how's it going? And the man himself, Ian, it's all going good. Jay is in the house as well. Hi Jay, and Mr. Fusion as well. How you doing, sir? Yes, we have to let him in now. We have to. Yeah. So hang on, there's a few more. I'm going down there. I'm trying to look. Just everyone saying hi to everyone. He has got the whole world in his hands. Yeah, if you know what that means, we'll probably speak about it later. Oh, hang on, some more stuff's coming in. Scott, hi Scott. Scott's in the house, everyone. I can make it. Thank you for coming on board. So yeah, there's not been much. There has been people started getting issue 2 of the ET, which is obviously it's just his face. It's just the front part of his face, which is really like a hard rubber, a similar style rubber to the Alien build actually. So that came out. Then we've also got, I don't know if anyone can make that out, the Jurassic World figurine collection. Well, I know that lots of people not too long ago were asking about this. That's being done by Hachette. It's a test at the moment in France. I think issue 1 is the Triceratops, but it's the Jurassic World collection, figurine collection. So I believe it's going to have the characters as well, not just dinosaurs. It's going to have characters and vehicles. I don't know what the special items are or anything like that. All I was sent was the back cover. If I can find out some more information, I will. But there's a lot on there, and my daughter likes dinosaurs and stuff like that, so I might pick that one up for her if it comes out over here. But I think it's fairly popular. That's all I know. It is fairly popular. Ian, is ET a 4-week trial? It is in France, yes. Issue 1 was his light up finger and I think one of his eyeballs. Issue 2 was just his face plate, which is like a single piece. But it is a 4-week trial, yeah, in France. It's annoying because we can't get any of the trial bits here in the UK. I've tried. So because they, once again, just like here, when they do a test run in France, they pick an area and the area's all over the place. So that's why sometimes I can find people tend to find them a lot better and quicker than other people in other areas, if you know what I mean. But issue 2 came out this week, I believe. DS Models, hi Dave, how's it going? Heard about the crude jokes. There were some. The first issue, someone done a YouTube video on it, and I weren't impressed at all by it, to be fair. But the finger did, yeah, it doesn't leave much to imagination, that's for sure. Did you know any more? The Infinity Gauntlet will be available in France. Right, so the Infinity Gauntlet got stopped because of production defects with the material in the first 2 issues. So D'Agostini stopped it, pulled the whole thing, and I do believe subscribers have now started to receive issues 1 and 2 again. And they said the quality of the gems and the electrics and the metal coating is 100 times better. So we should start seeing that soon, to be collected weekly at the newsagents. Subscribers always tend to get the first 6 or 7 issues before the newsagents, and then that's when it sort of catches up sort of slightly with subscribers. I don't know how exactly it works, but that's how it works over there. And just like over here, it works in a way where newsagent people are getting it before subscribers, even though subscribers were first. I think they received the first 2 packages before the newsagents are there, sort of thing. So I don't really know how it all works, but just like here, it sort of delays. But I do believe it's coming now. Loads of people have posted about it, receiving their packages again. And I think someone said it was due to hit the newsagents in France in November. So it should be on the site that I use, and I've posted there, but I can't remember it off by heart. Should then go through. So yeah. Hi Burgess, how's it going? Do you know what I thought I saw that that Eiffel Tower before. So if you don't know, IXO are releasing the Eiffel Tower build. And I weren't too sure about it. And Jason, who Jay's in the in chat tonight, he said it's been done before, and actually got me a link of the person who built it before in France. So it's a re-release. Not for me, but some people might. I know it lights up and everything. It's quite big as well, but it's already been done before. I think it was done 2017, somewhere around that sort of time. But yeah, that was already out. I remember that. Any updates on the Batmobile Tumbler? No, all that we know is that it's due out any point from now until March. Their release window for any part works, if you know how it works, you must do now, because we've got into this routine of knowing. So in the summer, there's a lull period where nothing gets released, nothing comes out normally. And then we get like an influx between September and March. Hachette tend to release a lot of their builds in December and January. So it could be anywhere around that time. But it is on the cards. Obviously, I messaged everyone to say it's going to be, it says late 2022, early 2023. So it's going to be in this period that we're in now. The Q4 and Q1 is normally their release window. And then what happens is through the summer, there's nothing comes out because people are busy, sort of thing. Oh, Jason put the link in. So that is the link there for you collecting anything from the Partworks from the French side. It's a newsagent's sort of website. You go in, type it in, but you have to make sure, you have to be a bit careful, because some of their collections are not named the same they are in English, if you know what I mean. So you might have to get the French version. So if you put in Disney Dollhouse, it won't bring it up. It's spelt differently. It's spelt in French over there. So you'd have to find the translation for it. But the Infinity Gauntlet, once it comes out in the newsagents, that is the website that you'll get it from. That's where I get my Alien and my Robocop from as well. A little advice, try and keep the order under £100, and you shouldn't have any custom charge or anything like that. But it's really quite good. I mean, once I've ordered stuff and it's taken like at least 3 days to come in, it's very, very quick. So yeah, thanks Jay for that. I'll leave that up there for a minute. But yeah, going back to the Jurassic World one, anyone interested in that? I know beforehand lots of people were interested in it. So yeah, I know lots of people were quite interested. So Mark, Hachette are doing like they did with the Routemaster. We will no longer be able to get any Terminator issues as of the 31st of October. Yeah, I've set. Thanks for pointing that out, Mark. Yeah, so if you don't know, Hachette, once a build comes out, if you want to build something from Hachette, you have to get it straight away. It's once what happens is they release a build, and then what they you can subscribe up to a certain number, I do believe, then they stop subscriptions. You can pick up all the issues from their web shop, and then when it ends, what they tend to do is restock all of the issues on their web shop. And then what they do is that I think that's on there for another year or two, and then they pull the whole thing, and then you'll never get it again. They've done this similar with a lot of Partworks, Terminator, Root Master, as Mark's just said, and they've done it with some of their Warhammer ones as well. So their very first one, which was more Warhammer Imperium, you can't get on their website at all now. And yeah, they do tend to pull them. The good thing is, though, a lot of their builds tend to end up with Agora, and you can. I think Agora has them forever. I've never seen them come off Agora yet, though they haven't been around very long. I didn't realise, but they only started in 2020, so they're very, very new. For some reason, I always thought they were around longer, but yeah. So, but it's good because it means that you can still collect the Root Master and the Terminator, I do believe, from Agora. But yeah. So if you want to build something, it's fine with D'Agostini and Fahrenheit because they're always there. But with Hachette, there's like a time period to get stuff in. And I always say, if you're going to get anything from Hachette, you have to build it as soon as it comes out. Otherwise, it becomes incredibly difficult to try and get it later on. So yeah, thanks for that, Mark. Yeah, so that's good. I didn't know that, but I do know that they pull the issues from their website after a while. And it's also worth noting as well that all the free gifts that they give to subscribers, they then put on their web shop at the end, and you can buy them. So that's the T-shirts and the mugs and all that other stuff that they give away to subscribers. If you're not a subscriber, you have the chance of buying them when the build ends. They tend to put them on their website. So it's good for if you're doing the Disney doll houses and you want the extra figures, but you collect from the newsagents because they'll be available later on in the build on their website. But yeah, there was always a time. I don't really know why Hachette do that. Maybe just to keep stuff moving, and obviously with costs and stuff like that. D'Agostini, I think, suffered quite badly with that. So I think it's been described before, but yeah, I think they do it because it just cost, wouldn't it? And you've got to think when they build these Partworks, they don't build them to order. They build them in batches. So I think that's why they pull it, is because they then can't, you know what I mean? I think the issues they don't sell, I reckon they will probably just go to Agora, I reckon. But yeah, thanks for that, Mark. But yeah, there's that. Like I said, there's nothing at the moment, but we've had quite a lot in terms of test builds in France. We always do this. They always tend to get them well before we do. So, but obviously we're still waiting for things like the Gran Torino, the Tiger Tank as well, and stuff like that. I know the Millennium Falcon. That was, someone said to me that was Fanhome's next model coming out. I don't know if that's the case, but I do know it is coming out. It was tested a long time ago, and they did say that they were releasing a lot of the old Partworks again. So no problem. That's all right. Thanks for that, Mark. Yeah, it's always good to keep all the information. I come across quite a lot of it, but lots of other stuff I don't. So it's always good to pull all the information that we get. So, did anyone get the IXO survey? So, IXO have been sending out emails to lots of people saying they now own the database, basically, from Eaglemoss. They own all your data. And then they've sent out a second email asking what collections you've got, what issue you're up to on all your Eaglemoss collections. It's worth pointing out on that they don't own all of the Eaglemoss Partworks. I think they just want to know what Partworks you've been collecting and what ones they've got to send you. But there's still a lot going behind the scenes. Ben Robinson put that stuff's moving forward. October's going to be a good month to finding out stuff. But he said licensing and stuff like that, it's still, it's still sort of a while away. Just put it that way. With all the entanglement and stuff like that, it's still fair while, I think, before we actually get anything. No, but I filled it out from my Partworks. Yeah, I saw the link. You can fill it out, but that's another thing as well. You can't then refill it out. You've only got one try, which I think is quite good. But if you miss something or you've put the wrong order number or something like that, yeah, that's what I found. It's not that I didn't put the information right. The only information I actually put down was for the enterprise. But there's still a lot. There's still a lot hovering about that. Yes, they want to bring it out. They don't have the license yet, but things are moving forward. But there is rumblings going on about delivery and cost. A lot of people reckon that there will be a higher cost. So I think Eaglemoss was what, £55 a month, around that sort of figure. I reckon there's going to be an additional cost on top. So I think it's going to cost us more. And at this point, we won't get any magazines. We only get the instructions. We found that out. Todd found that out. And we don't know whether they're going to just send the remaining issues. Now, the only problem I've got with that is if you're on issue, I'm on issue 6, stage 30 or 40, around that sort of number. You know, if they go, right, here's the whole lot and this is what you've got to pay, I think a lot of people might just turn away. So we don't know whether they're going to be able to do that or do it like a subscription base like they did with Eaglemoss, or have you the ability to buy one issue as and when you need. We don't know any of that yet. IXO tend to sell a lot of their collections as one build. So it's going to be interesting how that goes forward. But like I said last week, it doesn't matter because IXO are always going to win out of this, because if another company comes along, gets the license, they still have to buy the parts from IXO. So, yeah. Interesting. I never got the survey email, but I got the free GDPR emails. Yeah, they've been sending them out. I thought they were sending them all out as one, but actually they've been doing them in batches. I don't know what the batches are, but I got both emails, and I got them before a lot of other people did. So I don't know why they are, but a lot of people have gotten the survey, and some people have only just got the GDPR one, and some people have got the survey and had both of their emails. Some people have only just received the one, so I don't know how it's all working out. But yeah, it's all a bit all over the place. Remix, how's it going? What happened to the Fast and Furious car collection in France? It's out. The Fast and Furious collection's out. You can go on the link Jay put, and it's already out. You can go and collect it right now. I think they're on issue 5 or 6, I do believe. It's another collection. I don't know if Fan Home or D'Agostini are going to bring that out over here. But I don't know yet. But it's definitely out in France. Yeah, it's definitely out. I got them. What's that? What have we got? I don't know what. Oh, what, the emails? Okay. Let's go. I got the emails about data 5 times, but not the other emails. I've got the data email. I got one at the very about a month ago. I got one, and I've got another one. I just had another one done, but I had the survey one last week. Now, when I posted that on the Star Trek Facebook page, oh, the amount of messages I got saying that I was scamming the group, this wasn't real. In the end, I just took it off, and then Todd come along and said, "Oh no, it is real." And a lot of other people then started to get it, and then they were like, "Oh, maybe I wasn't scamming the group. Maybe this is real." And I kept telling people, "It is real. I've got it." But a lot of people were like, "Well, I haven't got it. That doesn't mean it's not real." It got a bit manic there. Also, IXO are doing the Merc. Yeah, I saw that as well. Yeah. I think anything that Eaglemoss did for IXO, they're going to do. I've got a funny feeling that's what's happening there. But thanks to Ian, I didn't need to fill out one. Yeah, Ian sorted that perfectly. Yeah, and he's got the better light bars as well now as well. So yeah, you want to get yourself over there and get your new light bulbs. The light bars. But yeah, I did collect the Ecto, but I'm so far behind that. I think I might cut my losses on that one. But the only Eaglemoss one I put down was the Enterprise build. So, but he wanted to know everything. Now IXO don't do them all, so I don't know why they wanted to know every one that we're doing. And Ben had already said that there's a lot of the part works probably won't ever get picked up again. They might not. So yeah. Probs around February this year. Eaglemoss was sending specific issues out based on what stock they had. So I've had to get back quite some issues to ensure if I'm offered them. Yeah. But yeah, I with issues if I'm offered them. Yeah. I don't. I'd like to finish the Enterprise, but we'll see what IXO come up with. But yeah, like I said, I think it's a while away. Yeah, and we've got to get through what's going on at the moment in our country, not just in France and Germany. It's worth noting that I believe that France and Germany are going through a phases now of blackouts, rolling blackouts. We haven't had anything like that here, but they have been talking about it. But over in Germany and France, they have been. I don't know how that is going to affect Partworks. I would imagine it will have some sort of impact somewhere down the line, but I don't know. It's an interesting one. I saw what was happening, and obviously, like I said, Germany and France are announcing that they're going to have rolling blackouts with their energy problem, like they are the rest of the world. Nothing has happened here yet, but there has been talk about it. But yeah, I don't know how that's going to affect, because I think a lot of the blackouts as well is for heavy industries, and Partworks I think would come under that because of energy uses and stuff like that. So I don't know. Maybe it won't, but we'll come on to other bits in just a minute. Have you made a group for it? I don't know what it was that it was out fully. I haven't, no. But I could always do one. What's the chance to get into the UK? I don't know. I couldn't answer that. If it follows the trend of other Partworks, we probably won't see any of it until end of next year, maybe. But you never know. Never say never in the Partwork game. That's what I've learned. Never say never. Nothing is never dead. Nothing never turns up. It's always, yeah, never say never, because everything does happen. There's a possibility to everything. But no, I don't think it's coming out for a while. But like I said, if it does follow trend, it could be out when France are on issue 40 or 50. But I've noticed that a lot of the Partworks are coming out very slowly over here, down in France. So before, when a Partwork used to come out in France, by about issue 40 or 50, it then came out here in the UK a year later, sort of thing. It's not now. It's sort of taking 2 years. The Alien build's nearly finished in March. So even if it comes out anytime now until March, it's still near enough 2 years behind. So yeah, I don't, like I say, I don't know, but never say never. I wouldn't. But the thing is with that, I don't know whether that would come under Fanhome or the Agostini. But we'll know in due course. But if you just want the cars, you can probably buy them from the French side. But if you want the magazines as well, and you want them in English, you'd need to wait. But yeah, we have our candles ready. Yeah, torches to the ready. But you never know. I was talking to my dad today, and he said, obviously, you weren't around in the 70s, but he goes, it's sort of a deja vu feeling when the miners went on strike and all of that sort of stuff. And in fact, the whole country was on strike and they had rolling blackouts. He says, sound familiar? So we're going backwards. We should be going forwards, but we're going backwards. And the problem is as well now, Ian, is that back then, not a lot really ran on electric. You could still get fuel. You could still go to the shops. If that happens now, everything literally would shut down because everything uses the internet. And it literally means everything would stop, wouldn't it? Back in the 70s, Dad said they used to obviously have candles, but they were still able to go to the shops and buy stuff and go and do normal stuff sort of thing. It was just dark. But now everything runs through the internet and electric, and it's like, yeah. But anyway, IXO's in Paris. Yeah, well, France and Germany are having rollouts, but they do have a factory. IXO have a factory, I do believe. I think their main headquarters is in Paris, but I think their manufacturing is in Germany. I think. I know that there's a part work manufacturer in Germany, but France and Germany they're all having these rolling blackouts. So like I say, I don't know how that will affect the part works. I would imagine it will do at some point, but I don't know how that will affect us. It normally takes 2 or 3 months to then affect us. But no doubt we'll get little leaflets like we've done before when COVID was about and things like that. So I remember the 70s, power off and the candles on. Yeah, that's what Dad said. Yeah, we used to sit there with the candles on, but he said people are still able to go and do stuff. But obviously nowadays, you won't get any money. You won't be able to use your phone because the machines won't work. And I think we've come heavily reliant on technology and electric. I suppose we always felt that it was always going to be there, and it could be a bit of a reality check, really, personally. Anyway, but yeah. Now getting on anyway. While we're talking about strikes, I just want to say, the young lot today will struggle. Oh yes, yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I've got to say, my daughters are quite. No, they're bad. They're always on Facebook or YouTube. But we'll have to crack out the Monopoly and Cluedo. By torchlight or whatever. But yeah. Anyway, getting on to the strikes now. Royal Mail is striking. Obviously, the 13th of October. That's going ahead. Regardless, there is talks tomorrow. Regardless of how those talks go, I think the 13th of December, which is Thursday, that's still going to go ahead. October, sorry, not December. That's still going to go ahead. They are talking tomorrow, so hopefully we'll get the same. But they're so far apart. I mean, it's like the Grand Canyon. They're so far apart. The last time they spoke, they were so far apart, and they were trying to get ACOS, is it? I think that's what it's called. Involved. Obviously, they don't really want that. No one wants that. But that's how far apart they are, and they've been like that for months. But what I'm trying to say is it's going to have severe, if you're a subscriber and you're getting your parcels, it's going to have a severe disruption. You might have a week at the moment in October because they're only striking another 2 days after October, the 13th of October. But November, you must have seen all the dates. They're working 3 days and then they're striking for 3 days all throughout November. So if they do go ahead with that, yeah, you might be lucky and get a parcel in November, but it's yeah. I don't know because there's going to be a huge. I mean, the November strikes will cripple Royal Mail. It will just cripple it because you're going to have a lot of the Christmas stuff coming through now. You got to think Royal Mail doesn't just deal with commercial; it also deals with business as well. So it's gonna affect everything really. But those strikes in November will cripple Royal Mail if it goes ahead. I'm hoping it's not in. It's not going to, because every day that the postmen on strike, they're not getting paid. So but it's going to cripple the network. But also that is going to have a knock-on effect with us as well, collecting stuff. Now I don't do subscriptions like that. I get them from the newsagents, so I shouldn't have so much of a problem. But if you like, say, if you're collecting from Fan Home, D'Agostini, Agora, even Hachette, they all use Royal Mail or some parts of the system. Even if it's Parcel Force, some parts of the system. So that's going to be a real struggle. So yeah, I would say if your delivery was sent out the first week of November, you might get it at the end of November. You can sort of see where we're going with this. So yeah, I think a lot of companies are going to be saying that you'll have to wait longer for your parcels to arrive. I think that's what's going to happen. But yeah. IXO warehouse, Northern France. Oh right, okay. But they're still going to, like I said, I thought there was a company in Germany that produces part works. I might be wrong, but I'm sure there's a factory there. But they're still having rolling blackouts everywhere. So, like I said, it must affect them at some point. We'll wait. We'll see. Hopefully, it doesn't, but we'll have to eventually come to that realization, I think. RM will affect us as we use them for our shipping. Yeah, it's going to affect everything. All those dates, by the way, isn't everyone. So you've got the 3 dates together, but one of them is network, one of them is processing, and one of them is deliveries. But they're stacked, so each one will affect the following and the following. So it's going to be yeah. Network is your lorries, your Arctics, your 600s. So they won't be working on one day. When they come back to work, processing comes off. Now, if there's no lorries moving, there's nothing to process. So they'll have a day of not doing much. When the lorry's back on the working, the processings are off, meaning there's nothing for them to deliver because there's been no processing done. And then when the processing comes back, deliveries are off, meaning they can process everything and the network's working, but nothing's getting delivered. So, like I said, it's got the 3 dates there. Like I said, the 3 dates are split between the 3 different entities of Royal Mail, but it's going to affect over those 3 days. So you could be lucky and get a few bits of post on the days that deliveries aren't on strike. But yeah, it's going to have a knock-on effect. And then obviously you've got to think the network, they pick up from a lot of warehouses and stuff like that. So they're going to have a day where they're not picking up. So they're going to have 2 days of work to try and get to Royal Mail. But obviously once it gets to these centres, the mail centres, there'll be no one there to process it. And then there'll be extra amount on the day that processing comes back. But then when they process it, it won't go off the other end to be delivered until the following day. So there'll be extra work for all of them going forward, which is overtime, which is okay, I suppose, if you want to do overtime. But for consumers and stuff, it's massively crippling because it's not just for 1 week; it's for the 4 weeks of November, but also it's the first week of December as well. So, but what the union reps have been saying is they've been quietly told by ministers, Royal Mail have been told by ministers to sort it out and sort it out quick. There's rumblings behind the scenes. We might have a general election. If that happens, they need Royal Mail to deliver everything. So obviously they want it sorted. So if that does happen, but the rumbling is they've told Royal Mail Ministers have told Royal Mail that they've got to sort it out quick. That's what the union reps have been saying. Why would they say that? You can sort of read between the lines, but the sense is that there's going to be a general election called, but obviously they need Royal Mail to deliver all that, so they need this sorted out quick because this could affect them. Though, if they do call a general election, Royal Mail can't strike during an election. So, but obviously they want it sorted because it could have a knock-on effect. So, even though they're not striking, but there's a lot going on there. Yeah, in terms of part work, so let's get back on the part work thing. There's nothing more to report, basically. IXO released last week of what you would get in pack. I think it was pack 1, wasn't it? Where you get the head and the body. It looks good, and you get a lot of parts, but it does seem to me that it's following the trend of other part works in that it looks over-engineered. It might be good, but like I said, I'm a massive Transformer fan, and I've said no to it. And like I said, I would have preferred the movie version, which I'm hoping. And there's rumblings that it's going to come out before Christmas over in France, so that's good. And then what's Mr. Fusion Designs put as well? You've got the tumbler as well. They're the sort of ones that we know are going to be coming out. But we can speculate about the others. Though I have seen an email. Someone sent an email to Fanhome asking them, you know, if part works coming out and whatnot, and they said they've got a lot of part works that are coming out, so keep an eye on their social media. But we know that before I've broken a few stories that I don't think they like, and this is probably the reason why they wanted me on their side when they approached me, was the R2-D2, and I think it was the one before that, the Iron Man and Dodge Charger. I've said when they were coming out, and then there's been nothing, and then it come out. So maybe that's why they reached out to me. I don't know. But yeah, like I said, I've heard rumblings that the Millennium Falcon is due to be released under them. So Scott, Microsoft would buying from France is the language if the model speaks like is Robocop speaking in French or English. No one knows at this point. No one knows. We expect it to be French, though. It's worth noting that there's ways around that. We've got some brilliant people, Ian, Mr. Fusion Designs, Mike Lane, who could do the test, do the board with all the bits, but obviously with English soundtracks, and actually could produce it with more than what it comes with. So there's a wait around on that one, but we think it might be French, but we're not sure. It could be English. When you go through that manufacturing stage with things and stuff like that, we don't know, because obviously when they re-release this to an English side, that means they would have to replace the chip that's in it. Yet if they keep it English, it means it's they can distribute it for a wider audience, and they wouldn't have to spend extra money making those boards, even though I think it's just a sound chip that goes into it. It might be easier. I don't know if it's a recording and they just do it, or whether it's pre-recorded and they just stamp it in. But it would mean redoing it, which is extra money. They might do. They might do it in French and then in English. We don't know yet. Lots of people in France I've spoken to, like, we don't know. We don't know whether it's English or French. But like I said, we've got some great people in here who does some great mods. And if it does go in French, I will be approaching said modders to see what they can do for me. So I'm not worried, if you know what I mean. But yeah, it's a concern. But like I said, at the point we don't know yet. The Terminator was just sound effects. The Alien, I do believe, has sound effects. And the robot, I was surprised. We were surprised that Iron Man didn't have sound effects. It just has the light effects. Robocop does have the sound effects, but like I said, we don't know. We don't actually know if he talks. This is another thing. It does say on the packaging. Now they've brought this up twice now on the French side. So on the packaging, on the original packaging, if you go back and you watch issue 1 and 2 of my build, you will see, if you can read French, it says it has sound and phrases from the film. It also says that it has a die-cast pieces, and the point that it comes up saying that is on the gun. And the gun isn't die-cast. The gun, they've replaced it with plastic. Now, when it originally came out as a test run, the gun was in issue 4 and it was die-cast and you didn't have to build it. It's now been in, I think it was issue 52 or something, or 51 or 52, and it's plastic and you have to build it. And lots of people have picked up saying it was false advertisement, and then they should have mentioned this beforehand. Some people said, okay, fair enough, but a lot of other people weren't too happy. So at this point, lots of people are like, so is it going to speak French or English, or is it just going to have sound effects, like we've had with the Terminator? Like I said, we don't know at this point. We are getting closer to building. They are getting closer in France. I need to catch up on it, and like I said, I will. They are getting closer to building the chest area where it's going to sit. So hopefully we will know soon. But yeah, Robocop only has that ability. He doesn't have obviously any lights or sounds on. I mean lights on him, but he will have sound effects. But once again, it comes down to, Scott, how often you would use those sound effects. Because a friend of mine's got the Robocop version from Hot Toys. It comes with a little. I'll tell you what, it's a really cool remote. It's a remote control in the Robocop logo, and you push it and you cycle through the thingies. And he said, I think he's had it for about 5 or 6 years, and he said I think he's used it all of about 4 times, so like once a year nearly. So it's worth just thinking that as well. If it does speak French, does it matter? How, you know what I mean? How often are we actually going to use that? So yeah, but yeah, at this point, Scott, we don't know. But once I do know, I'll let everyone know in the group. Hi, Keith. How's it all going? Fun fact: a farm sim tuber I watch is thinking about building the kit. Oh, nice. Yeah. I didn't, like I said, I didn't do the kit. It wasn't for me, and they approached me, and I said no. But I'm not going through that again with what happened with that. But yeah. But yeah, so there was that, and then obviously Extreme Rules, WWE Extreme Rules was on yesterday, and Bray Wyatt returned, the Fiend. So that's cool. So I've changed my profile picture on Facebook. So if you see a different profile picture, that picture, I've still got the mask. That, I think that was from Halloween quite a few 2 years ago, I think it was. And then he left and he's come back. If you want to know what's happened there, so he. It was Halloween last year, sorry, that I got the mask, and now he's come back, so I thought I'd do me profile picture. It is Halloween, after all. We are in the Halloween month, but yeah, so that's it. Disney Dollhouse is coming along nice. We're filling out the basement on that. It's coming along slowly, but it is coming along nicely, which is cool. I'm actually, you know, it was originally for Kirsty to build, and I was going to do them harder bits because she's not too confident on those. And I thought, okay, you know, actually, I'm enjoying it a lot more than I thought I was, and the quality of it is really good. I've got to say, it's some really good solid pieces, and you get quite a bit. It's not, sometimes there's not quite a bit to do, but you're still getting quite a few bigger items, which is really nice. And it's strange because I've seen people get the parts for the Eddie Stobart, and there's not a lot in it, and a lot of small pieces. And then you look at the Doll's House, and once again, you don't get a lot of pieces, but the pieces are a lot bigger. You don't seem to be sort of questioning the money side of it like you do with the Eddie Stobart. I know a lot of people have said they feel that some of the parts ain't worth the money and stuff like that. I understand that these parts come, and we understand that. But I've never thought that with the Doll House. Everything that's come has been very solid, and I've never gone, I don't think we're getting our money's worth. I've always felt that we're very much getting our money's worth with that build. But yeah, it's grown on me very much, and I'm really looking forward to it getting a lot bigger within the next 2 weeks actually. So yeah, you got issue 39 this week, issue 40, and then issue 41. We put the basement and the first floor together, so it grows even bigger. So yeah, very much looking forward to it. To be fair, got box 12 of the 917 this week. Still only one built. Still only built 4. Lol. You wait for it to stack up, Burgers. Yeah, so you've got enough to do. I like the strategy. I see a lot of people are finishing off the Iron Man now. I think someone got the last issue, which took them up to issue 96, and there are only one box left. But the last 4 issues, I do believe, are the extra pelvis points, so you can get it into a different pose. But I think up to issue 96, you're finished. It's complete. It's done. So I see someone already posted that. I want to finish that build, but we'll see how we go with it. I think I've got a mod for it already. I've got the Arc mod, which is really nice. If you want that mod, Mr. Fusion Designs have got that. So yeah, hoping to catch up with the Porsche before Xmas. Yeah, it gives you something to do, But yeah, oh Jay, I won't mention Eddie Low, but I love the Doll's House. It's a build that I really enjoy. Quality parts, yeah. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if there is not a lot to do. The soon makes up for it. It does, yeah. And not only that, the interesting thing about a Doll House is you're actually crafting stuff. So like the kite that we had to build, and I think we've got to do bunting as well. We've got to actually physically make that. So it's not already pre-built. A lot of the stuff like that we have to actually make, and I think we have to make pillows as well. There's an issue coming up where we actually have to sew pillows and stuff like that. So that's going to be interesting. But yeah, that's what I like about the Disney Doll House. It's not just a build; it's a crafting thing as well. You have to actually craft stuff. Like if you saw when we done the kite, we had to actually cut out the pieces for the kite section, and then the tassel bit, which was an absolute nightmare, I've got to say. You actually have to individually put the pieces on. So that's what I like about it, is that it's not just, we're not just building, we're actually putting wallpaper on, we're actually sort of crafting as well, which is really nice, which you don't get in a lot of part works. It's normally, here's your part works, there's your screws, go on. When you're not really crafting, so you're not building seat covers and putting cloths over stuff and stuff like. Obviously, you can get mods like that, and some of the modders in chat do some really nice mods, carpet mods and stuff like that. So yeah, I may try and get a couple of issues of the Peter Rabbit's House from Japan. Yeah, that's the next. Is that already started in Japan now? I know that was their sort of next one that they were doing, but obviously the Disney House has been extended. But they've done a similar one, haven't they, with Peter Rabbit? Yeah, we'll see how all that goes. But I'm quite happy with the Doll House. I don't know if we'll do Peter Rabbit, should I say Peter Pan? Peter Rabbit's burrow and house. I don't know if we'll do that. But yeah, I was coming up with a few ideas for the Disney Dollhouse, which I'll mention when we do our talk on issue 40. But there's a few sort of ideas I've got. I won't do them, but obviously it gives other people ideas, because obviously one of the rooms is the basement room. You can't see it, which is weird. So 12th October launch date. Oh, right. Okay. So not too long, not too far away at all. This week coming, actually. Hopefully next week I will have some Star Trek figures. I don't know what the hell has happened with them. I've been waiting patiently since my birthday back in July, and they still haven't arrived. They're still not here. Oh, see you later, Ian. Thanks for dropping by. Take it easy. See you later. Yeah, so there's that. But anyway, like I said, this week I don't know. I've got some other bits I'll probably end up reviewing. And it's probably just going to be like a sort of a lazy couple of weeks, I think, on the channel. I'm not going to be doing too much. I need to catch up on a few things, so I won't be doing a lot on it, but I'll probably have a bumper session in a couple of weeks' time where there'll probably be quite a bit on the channel. But yeah, I'll still be doing the Disney Dollhouse and the Dodge Charger as well. Like I said, the parts with that Dodge Charger, I think, wow, they really are stretching that out. But like I said, I don't think that with Doll's House, but the parts, I don't know. Yeah, it's a hard one to do. But yeah, I'll be doing them, obviously. But no doubt I'll be doing something in between there, either that gaming stream or reviewing something if things turn up. But anyway, look, I'm going to go now. Make your way over to the Northern Model Builder Show, because I believe that's on tonight. Dave's on there tonight building the Route Master. So get yourselves over there. I'll be jumping on there in just a minute. But anyway, look, thank you all for coming. Thank you for talking again. I so much appreciate it. And I love coming on here on a Sunday to discuss what everyone's been up to and what's been happening in the world of Partworks and what's been happening in the world, really, and putting wrongs to rights as we do. But I'm going to leave it there. Like I said, thank you guys for coming along. And obviously, as always, we'll see you in the next video.